beginnings on the cusp. Not too old to adjust. Old dog, new tricks. Remember, I was just a pup. Something dirty in my cup. Clean soul, good karma.
Yeah. Woo! Woke up with a vision, it's Professor Bear's day. Ruling the game, coming hard, paving his way. Thoughtful and smart, yeah, the wisdom of math. In a world full of shadows, he's breaking the cap.
What's going on, people? Happy New Year, and thank you for joining us on The Bear's Thought. I am your host, Professor Bear, and I hope y'all had a great way of bringing in the new year. We at the Wrestling Society have some great announcement. One of the first. Have you checked out the nice, merch will be available starting next week. And we're just going to start with the shirts, but we got a couple other things in the, we got it coming. Don't worry, I think you'll love it. But let's get to the topic of today. But before that, you can join us on all different social medias and check us out. But again, let's get to the topic of the day. We are going to talk about this gentleman, Chris Benoit. I do have the DVD. Yes, I do. So, what we're going to talk about with Chris, with him being such a controversial figure in wrestling, we're going to talk about a couple of different things. And please, make sure you call in. So we can have a conversation. Let your thoughts be known. And at the end, we have done a poll, and we're going to put up the poll of should Chris Benoit be included in the WWE Hall of Fame. But first, we're going to start with Chris Benoit and how I feel about Chris. So, me being a wrestling aficionado, I first found out about Chris Benoit from New Japan and the WCW/NWA. And the first time I ever saw Chris was in the NWA World Tag Team Title Tournament, where he teamed up with a gentleman, and pardon me as I don't remember who his partner was, but they were representing Canada. And they ended up losing to, ironically, Brian Pillman and Jushin Thunder Liger. What's going on, Joe? So, thank you, JD. It's good to hear from you, my friend. So, with Chris being such a controversial figure for, unfortunately, the last few days of his life of killing his wife, his son, and himself, it is very controversial because a lot of people think you should not even mention his name in any concept whatsoever. My thoughts about it is it's easy for me to separate the two because, let's face it, any wrestler out there are human beings and they have a separate life from their wrestling persona. And then a lot of times, a lot of wrestlers live out their personas in real life. So for me, I can put the difference up and look at the body of work that Chris Benoit did as a professional wrestler. And if we went with that with any wrestler, then why would we talk about Jimmy Superfly Snuka? He allegedly killed a young lady, and the name that shall not be mentioned helped get him out of that situation. So what I choose to do is remember the times of his professional wrestling career and not his life. And with that being said, one of my favorite matches of all time in my top 5 personally is the match between Chris Benoit and Kevin Sullivan. With their personal grudges that came up, because if you didn't know, Kevin Sullivan was married to woman, aka Nancy Sullivan. And with that, they put a little bit too much life in art. So she left him for Chris Benoit, and they went and had a wrestling match. And it was so, with all the rage that both men had, it was still a beautiful thing. So I see we have a caller. Let's see who this caller is.
Hey, Bear.
What's going on, Joe?
Not much, brother. So, yeah, talk about a controversial topic you're talking about tonight, my friend.
Yeah, and it's to me it's kind of a shame that we can't talk about him and his great wrestling career because of his real life issues and his demise. But how do you feel about him?
As an in-ring performer, easily the top 10 to ever do it. Absolutely top 10. For what he did, that's the lowest of the low. But if you want to look at it from a pure wrestling perspective, Chris Benoit was probably, dare I say, underrated in a way. Yeah, I know he won a couple of world titles, but still, he was, if I'm not mistaken, people can say I'm wrong, Chris Benoit was probably destined whenever WWE CW, even though we don't like to talk about it, he was supposed to help lead the charge in that. I'm pretty sure Johnny Nitro replacing him, or Johnny Mundo, or Johnny whatever his name is nowadays. I'm pretty sure that was supposed to be Benoit's spot.
Yeah, you're right. From everything I've heard, he was booked to win the ECW title that night.
So that would have been interesting because he would have won the WCW World title, the World Heavyweight title, and the ECW Heavyweight title. So that would have been interesting.
And he would have been the first, too. He would have, and maybe even Big Show would have never got a chance to hold the ECW title.
Right. Like him doing what he did, that's one of those history points where what if could have changed the perspective of professional wrestling as a whole. Because of that, that's why WWE started having strict policies on CTE, on the drug policy. Because if anybody remembers back then, I was just a kid and I remember this, a teenager. Steroids. Everybody was after the steroid thing because that's what made them crazy. Which we learned later, it was only a little bit of a factor. The main factor was CTE, and which thankfully now is being researched more and more. And I hate to say it, I mean, it's a bad side effect of being in professional wrestling.
Well, and I agree with you 100% there. I hate to cut you off, but I got another caller, and we will talk about a little more later on.
No problem, brother.
All right.
Have a great
And
night. And
can I go ahead and announce that Professor Bear will be at your first match? Is that okay?
that is completely fine. Yes, it is true, folks. I got a message the other day that the bear himself is actually going to show up for my very first match for my last year. So that's going to be fun. We'll be sure to take pictures and
Oh
stuff.
yeah, we got some video coming.
But
Thank you,
Bear,
Joe.
no problem, brother. You have a great episode. Brady,
All
don't
right.
mess this up.
Oh, I won't, brother.
See you guys.
So let's get to our
Hey,
next
Bear,
caller.
man, we got a caller.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about Chris Benoit?
Well, I'm not totally convinced that he did everything that, but I think he should be honored for what he did in the ring. But I have my own opinions about him. I'm not totally convinced because the evidence just does not completely add up.
And you know what? I agree with you. And feel free to speak your mind. Anything goes on my show. And I agree with you that it was so suspect.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to say. I guess where my whole thought is with the professional wrestling, if we went to talk about every wrestler and what they did wrong and some of the stuff that hadn't got out about all the wrestlers, man, we would be taking a ton of wrestlers off of Hall of Fames, out of Hall of Fames.
That's true.
And his work was just beautiful. He was just a technical genius. And I dare anyone to top him and Kurt Angle matches, any of them.
Right. Oh, yeah. I agree.
Yeah, I feel like it's a taboo subject, but for me, I think it shouldn't be. We as wrestling fans should be able to have calm conversations. And again, whether you agree or don't agree, just speak your mind.
Oh, yeah.
And just like Joe was saying before, it's a tragedy, but it led to so many good things because they put a lot of things in positions now to help wrestlers to keep them from hopefully dying young.
Right.
So.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and there's a lot of help for them out there now too. So. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's safe, and it's unfortunately a lot of times.
Hey, Bear, man, we got a caller.
Things that happen where it's bad, but in turn into a good thing in the long run.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and at this point, you can't bring any of them back. You can't, if he did or didn't, it's not going to change anything.
No. Unfortunately.
Yep.
Well, thank you for calling in.
Yeah, I'm glad to finally get to.
So, did you like your shirts?
I love them.
All right.
Yeah, I'm going to wear one of them to Memphis, to the Russell Center there at Memphis on Sunday.
All right.
Yeah.
So keep your eye out. I'll be doing some more for you.
Okay. Thank you.
All righty. Thank you again for calling.
All right. See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All righty. Producers, let's get us another caller in here.
Yo.
What's going on, JD?
Mayhem Media back on Bears Thoughts.
Man, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Professor. How are you doing?
Doing great, doing great. So tell me your thoughts on Chris Benoit and the whole uh, tragedy.
Yeah, I first of all, was a huge Chris Benoit fan. I love how he wasn't necessarily a good on the mic, but he didn't have to be. He had such a following, and he was so over with just his intensity and what he could do in the ring. And that was all the way through his career. He had this natural intensity. And I think he was a great horseman. I think he fit right in with the four horsemen when they made him a horseman. So, unfortunately, the end of his life, it's a tragedy. I'm glad you decided to do an episode on this because I think it's a great topic to talk about. What is that line? That's what I want. Actually, that's why I called in now, because I wanted to actually get your opinion on this. Was what is the line? If Chris Benoit can't be in the Hall of Fame because of what happened in his life, and because of the tragedy and the way it happened, everybody knows about it.
Right.
But as you said earlier in the show, how many wrestlers have done things that would maybe the general public might want to disqualify them from the Hall of Fame? So where is the line? What is it?
Well, and now for me personally, as much as I cared for Chris Benoit, loved his matches, I wouldn't put him in the Hall of Fame. And the only reason why, because I think it's the kind of an insult to his wife and his son and their family, because you wouldn't want to give the person who supposedly killed them some glory like that. So I can understand why they wouldn't put him in the Hall of Fame, but to acknowledge his wrestling career, I think there's nothing wrong with that. And people, like I said, it should be a board, because anybody that goes with football, with basketball, any Hall of Fame, there still needs to be some standards.
Yeah.
At the time, just like I mentioned before, Jimmy Superfly Snuka,
Yeah.
he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. And look at WWE taking out Hulk Hogan for a little while for his comments. And so if you being that dumb to make comments like that get you taken out of the Hall of Fame, easily murder.
I just want to be clear to all the viewers that I am not for Chris Benoit going in the Hall of Fame. I could just see some of the viewers kind of maybe thinking that. I'm not for Chris Benoit going in the Hall of Fame. Just wanted to bring up the topic of where is the line, in terms of when you should be acknowledged in the Hall of Fame or when you should not be acknowledged in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
I happen to agree with you, Professor. I don't think glorifying him further is a good idea. I don't think that's a good idea at all. But I don't think you can just ignore his body of work.
Exactly.
You have to be able to acknowledge his body of work, because of the kind of wrestler he was, what he accomplished. So you just can't ignore that. But I do agree with you and with everybody else who's commenting that he definitely shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. Absolutely not at all. But that's why I love that you did this episode, because I do think his body of work should be talked about and acknowledged.
Or even, let me throw this scenario at you. Let him go in the Hall of Fame, and any royalties go to his family, to their family.
I would also say it would have to be up to the surviving members of his family, especially
right.
Yeah, especially his son.
Exactly.
If his son was okay with it, then I'd be maybe a little bit more willing to say, okay, if his family wants that to happen, then all right, I could see that. They don't want his body of work to be ignored or whatever the reasons are either. So that would be a lot. That would definitely, I think, take it a bit further. But as it stands now, I don't think there's any way you could put him in the Hall of Fame, without, like you said, sullying the memory of Woman or Nancy and his other son. I think that's, I mean, honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing Nancy, aka Woman, in the Hall of Fame.
And easily she should, because her her body of work in wrestling is really not talked about a lot because of the tragedy. I mean, she came in Florida. Kevin Sullivan discovered her and groomed her into the wrestling business and plays a big, big part in the ECW legend.
She was amazing before she went with Benoit, and Benoit became a horseman, and she just became a standard horseman valet. She did some amazing stuff with Sullivan.
Oh, and then even think about the Steiner brothers.
Bad man, we got a caller.
I noticed that's the hook.
Yes, sir.
You got a lot of callers
calling in.
You got a lot of callers lining up to talk about this topic. So I appreciate you letting me have me on. Everybody who's watching, please check out Mayhem Media, Facebook, YouTube, Rumble. Give us a like, a subscribe, a follow. Professor Bear, thanks so much. Great topic, and thanks for having me on.
Man, thank you. All right, let's go to our next caller. Rusty, what's going on, my friend?
It's going on. It's going on. Welcome.
So how do you feel?
Okay, so how I feel, yes, I agree that he don't belong in the Hall of Fame. Yes, he does need to be acknowledged for his accomplishments. And there's two hot takes that probably going to get me killed on the chat here. One, I don't think he should ever been a member of the Horsemen.
Okay.
Because the four horsemen need to be the four horsemen. When all the other factions didn't add any other people, they just died off. That's my opinion on that.
Okay, and I have to tell you that's interesting for me because I feel like Benoit was prime a horseman when they started dropping down in their how would I put this? Their style of, and nobody took them seriously. Chris actually put the shine on them, I thought, and helped bring them back to glory.
And then my other hot take is Chris Benoit back then is what Dolph Ziggler is now, a good worker. Plug him in where you need him.
Man, you know, I would have never thought about that. And the one thing that I love that you said, because Dolph Ziggler, Mr. I can't even think of his real name. He is he is such a great worker, and he's doing good things in TNA. And I can see why you would have the comparison of him and Chris.
Because whenever they needed to change a championship, hey, Chris, come here. Let's throw this on you, then take it off of you. Same thing with Dolph. Hey, we'll put this on you, but then we'll take it off of you. He was a good worker.
Yes, and made the people look good. I mean, look, when Dolph made Goldberg look like he went back 10 years in time, you know he is a great worker.
Yes, sir. All right, well, I'm going to let someone else call in, but one more thing. I got this right here. Go, Kevin.
I have to tell you, I'm with you on that. I would not be mad if Kevin wins that title.
So, all right, well, I'll keep on watching. Have a good night.
All right, thank you again, Russ.
You're welcome, buddy.
So, with Chris, one of the things, and I hadn't planned on bringing it up, but with him and the Horsemen, I thought him and Brian Pillman were the new age Horsemen that if they would have let that build the way it should have, I think WCW would have caught fire again, letting the Horsemen reign and letting Flair and Anderson started to slowly die off to take their time. Chris Benoit could work with anyone. Cruiserweight, heavyweight. Chris could make anyone look good in a match. His psychology was off the charts. And
I bet, man, we got a caller.
We got another caller. Let's see who we got now.
Oh, hello.
Oh,
Well.
wait a minute, they got the both of us. Gang,
Oh, man, they tag teaming on me.
Hey, hey, I wasn't expecting
What's going on, gentlemen?
Yo, what else? Supernova Wrestling, we in the house. Adam, when Mr. Adam say, Mr. Shizzy Blackheart Lansky, we in this bitch. Shout out to the whole Wrestling Society Network. Shout out to Professor Bear. They been egging us on to come on this bitch for a little bit, so we got to just come in and drop in real quick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I am actually ready to get my tinfoil hat conspiracy theory going.
Let's hear it.
Well, we don't got that much time now.
So, to be fair, I'm a very much of a diehard Chris Benoit fan. I felt that I felt the tragedy that happened was pretty rough and a big blow in the professional wrestling community. However, I think a lot of people don't put into account. I don't know if anyone watched the Chavo Guerrero interview where he talked to Chris Benoit, and Chris Benoit was acting extremely not normal, very scared, and it sounded like someone attacked him and hung the phone up, dropped the call out of nowhere, and it's like no one wants to capitalize on that or bring that back up. And then Benoit's family placed lawsuit against the police department for not releasing what they actually found. So that was character number 2. And number 3, people forget that Kevin Sullivan had a huge issue with Chris Benoit when the woman left him for Chris Benoit.
Oh yeah.
So and just to tag team off this real quick. Let's keep into account of the many injuries that this man has suffered throughout his wrestling career that kind of led up to this moment in time frame. Even though I was 17 years old when this happened to Chris Benoit, and just like Al, I was a big fan of him wrestling-wise. Yes, I agree with some of the other calls that came in. He could have worked more on his technical, his mic prowess when it comes to his promos. But then at the time, he didn't really need that because he did decently well for his character himself. Now, rewind it back to where the injuries came part. How many times have we seen these wrestlers doing these diving headbutts that are dangerous and still do it anyway? And let's not take into account one Superfly Snooker, he was somehow put into the Hall of Fame for his, even with his action, and he died with that. Even when he was going to trial as a demented 76-year-old fucking man. And we will give him a pass?
Well, okay,
that's not one thing that people want to say, because Chris Benoit. Okay, listen, if I would have done something in my right state of mind prematurely and say out loud, okay, I want to kill 2 people, and I actually did it, that's premeditation. Chris Benoit wasn't a premeditated guy that wanted to kill off his own family, saying I don't want them to be around like that anymore. So that's people got to understand that too. The toxicity that was going on in his brain at that time period, and we see the similar stories with Aaron Hernandez. Who's the Titans from the Patriots? One of the Titans from the Patriots too in the Chargers. Sayo, he killed him.
Completely different.
This whole CTE shit is not just wrestling; it's sports in general.
Right. And I agree with you on that. But I think the big thing for me is we're losing so much great history on a wrestler. Think about the matches that don't get showed. Him and Booker T, what was it? 7 matches. Man,
7. That
was amazing. And WWE still to this day does that. They capitalize off of wrestlers. Look at when they did it with Cesaro and Sheamus.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then again, somebody, one of my guests was saying that with this tragedy came something good, because now we look at all of the health of wrestlers, not for the headshots and the health. We
Right.
Well,
right. But the problem with that also, too, Professor, is similar thing to how we're seeing in all the sports right now is being diluted to where it's watered down. Where when you water down your product, anyone and their mama can fucking do this shit. You know what I'm saying? That's also one of the problems that's also one of the problems that came with it too. You know, because of the dying down, the health, the risks of certain injuries, you can still get injured, no matter what you do. So it doesn't stop it completely.
Well, it doesn't. Go ahead.
Just like I was trying to go back with what I was explaining here. Like, I still to this day don't believe that. I still, I guess it's conspiracy. Like I said, it's tinfoil hat conspiracies. But I'm still I still believe that someone murdered him and murdered his family. I've always been like that for years.
Listen, you may think that I'm saying he went through a psychotic fucking breakdown and completely his mind crashed out. And before how certain people will write their last little words and shit like that, and those are saying, "Hey, this is what's going to happen to me," or "This is what my final thoughts are," whatever like that, and then they do it.
Do I think he needs to
that's
be in
what
the
I
Hall
thought.
of Fame?
Meaning, does he belong in the Hall of Fame? Not the WWE Hall of Fame. Of course, they'll never put his ass in there. But he deserves to be in the Pro Wrestling Hall of fucking Fame. Despite what his personal life and personal issues were, how many of these wrestlers have personal fucking issues and not in the Professional Hall of Fame even till we see this thing today?
Exactly.
For whatever the God knows reason. It's about the fucking committee that actually looks at all this and say, we don't want this thing to stand on credibility and shit. What fucking credibility?
Well, I mean, that goes back to Pete Rose, right? Pete Rose should be in the Baseball Hall of Fame, but guess what?
Right. There's so many people that belong into this sectional Hall of Fames and shit like that never got it. Even after in death.
Okay, so if that's the case, then we would put everybody into Hall of Fame, and not
everybody. Not everybody.
Well,
wait. Whoa. Let's correct that one.
But
not everyone deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
I don't see no Joker like fucking Jinder Mahal being in the fucking Hall of Fame. Get the fuck out of here. Who the fuck is he?
Here's the thing.
Like we said it. You gotta be careful about what you say, because we said everybody can be in it. Okay, R-Truth should be in it. Of course, he's a national treasure, but does he really earn it?
Yeah, I mean,
no. R-Truth does, because R-Truth
he was a world champion.
In NWA, you can put it in the Pro Hall of Fame. Put him in the WWE Hall of Fame. He's gonna be like one of those like comedy acts.
Yeah, but hold on. R-Truth was a former NWA World Heavyweight Champion.
And look at where that company is at now.
Okay, gentlemen, hold on 1 second. Look at this that James put in. Chris was always crazy, but he went off the deep end when Eddie died. He did. That's because him and Eddie had a tremendous relationship.
Yeah,
that is true.
And
again, but also that last comment right there, when Eddie Guerrero died, that's when he nearly came to the edge. That was when it started falling the fuck apart when Eddie Guerrero died. Because as certain people, if you're close with someone and then that person dies unexpectedly, bro, your life turns upside fucking down. Believe me, I've been through that for the last 2 years of my own life when my sister passed away. I need one off my own fucking self. You know what I'm saying? So I know what that deep space in that mind can do to a person.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So let's not discredit that either.
Well, but the thing is, we have to have a point, and what is the point for not being able? And again, I'm gonna play devil's advocate.
Okay, wait a minute. So we still got Hulk Hogan. We still got Hulk Hogan involved in it, even though he called us black people niggers.
But hold up. Again, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I'm gonna do it with Hogan. Hogan said what he said. He keeps saying things nowadays. Does that tarnish what he's done for professional wrestling?
Depends on who you ask. Depends on who you ask. To really be honest with you.
Okay, so then
That's a double-edged sword right
that's
there.
why any Hall of Fame has a board, and they decide who goes
exactly. They
in
have
and
a
who
committee
goes.
that comes together and says, we don't want to stain the reputation of what the fuck we've been building, so we're not going to allow certain people that have to draw pass into it, even though we can overlook some, but just not everyone.
Right. I mean, look at China. That's another example. Because she did porn, they don't want to put her in the WWE Hall of Fame. The only way she got in was with DX.
Until the DX thing came into play and shit. That was the only loophole that they had. They can create these committees, they can create little loopholes on how to bring people in and shit. You know what I'm saying? So why can't you create a little loophole for Chris Benoit to get in?
Right. Well, guys, I love to keep talking, but I got another caller. Let me get
we out of here.
Thank y'all for
we out.
Thank you very much.
Y'all.
You have a good one.
Gang, man, we out.
Let's go to our next caller. Love it. Everybody's live and giving that opinion. I'm loving it. Oh, no, it's my boy. What's up?
Oh,
it's a PNC reunion.
What just happened? What just happened?
It happened. What's going on, Wayne?
What just happened? What's up, man?
Man, missing you. Man, come on back so we can do this BNB stuff right.
Hey, I actually did want to say real quick. Get used to this. I'm coming back. I'll admit, look, I had a rough year. I had a rough patch, but it's a new year. It's a new me. Just get ready to get used to seeing my face again. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming back. I've missed y'all. I've missed it. It's killing me, man. But like I said, I'm kind of getting back in the groove of things, and this is just, I saw y'all were on, and I was like, you know what? Yeah. Let me hop on there real quick. I'm driving to the gym real quick. I'm like, you know what? Let me get on there real quick.
Oh man, I miss you, love you, brother. And whenever you come back, we're gonna pick up like nothing left off.
Yeah, exactly, man. But man, I'm gonna cut. Okay,
Get it to me,
dude. When I saw this question, I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was gonna be one-sided. I was like, oh, dude, everybody's gonna pick no. He shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. I was like, it's gonna be one-sided. That's not even a question. True. I was like, it's not a question. And I saw it, and I'm like, what in wow. That's surprising. I was very surprised. And dude, I mean, my straight up answer is, I don't think he should be. I know everybody was hoping somebody wants to call in and say why he should be, but I don't think he should be. And a big reason is, I was just thinking about this, is, WWE now is so centered around PG and kids and, Make-A-Wish and all that. And think about it like this. Think about, let's say he got inducted into this year's Hall of Fame, and you were sitting there, and your son, daughter, your kids were sitting there, and they say, oh, okay, Dad, who's Chris Benoit? Oh, yeah, he was a wrestler. Okay, what happened to him? And you got to sit there, and you're like, oh, well, where do I start? You know what I'm saying? This is what happened to him, Oh, is he alive? No, this is why, And yeah. I know there's a bunch of theories out there. I've never dug deep into the theories of somebody killed him, somebody, Bob Holly, all this. I know little bits about it, but either way, in the public's eye, he's a murderer. In the public's eye, he is a murderer and a cold-blooded killer. And that's just the way it is. I know for a fact, if I had kids of my own and I was sitting there and I was like, because kids are curious, what happened to him? Why isn't he out there inducting? Is he not alive anymore? No, he's not. This is why. He killed his wife and his son, and that's the blatant truth, and That's the thing I am curious about. Now, I don't think I heard. Now, do you think he should be in the Hall of Fame?
No, I
Okay.
don't. And
Okay.
the reason being is not even them. I just don't. I think it will be too much heartache for the family because
Yeah.
I mean I put myself in that
Yeah.
situation. If
Yeah.
that was my sister, ain't no way in the hell I would want him
Yeah.
being glorified.
Yeah.
Even
Exactly.
and again, his body of work is amazing. I don't think we should lose his body of work, but to have him going to the Hall of Fame is no.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the first thing I thought of. And I thought about the second one of if I had kids and they started asking, I mean, you got to, because, but no, that was the first thing I thought is if I was related to Nancy, it's like, no, I wouldn't want to see that, I mean, now, don't get me wrong. I'll say this, wrestling wise, I mean, that dude was one of the best. I mean,
Yes.
he was the guy. I mean, his wrestling technique, you put him and Kurt Angle in a ring and you
Eh,
get one of the greatest actual wrestling matches to date. And, he is the one of the best technical wrestlers ever, but it's like you can't get over that chat. It's just one of those
eh,
things, man. You can't. And that's just the way it is. And it doesn't matter who's in charge, you know, they know I think they're smart enough that they know that if they even thought about maybe we should put him in the Hall of Fame, dude, their reputation it wouldn't get destroyed, but it'd take a dent. I mean, it'd
yeah,
take
definitely.
a big dent. Just the way with how you know social, especially with how so sensitive and social media. I'm not saying sensitive
Oh
like
my
that,
God.
but
Yes.
the way social media is nowadays, and cancel culture and all that, dude, they would I mean, they would boycott, WWE. They would boycott AAA. I mean, they would
Hey, I'm not.
destroy those
Hey,
guys.
I'm not. I'm actually looking for some hate in my comments for me even bringing up this discussion. But here's the thing for me: we all human. We
Yeah,
all have discussions on different topics. We can have a civil conversation and let everyone know how you feel. And
yeah,
just because you feel that way doesn't necessarily make you wrong or right. It's just your opinion. Everybody has one. So, and if you don't like it, stop. Hey, I know Brady gonna hate that I say this, but stop fucking watching this show then. Because this is what it is. I'm gonna say my opinion. This is why,
yeah,
and I hope people understand. If I offend you, I'm sorry. But hey, when you offended, best thing goes somewhere else. So, with that being said, though, man, and I thought like you, I thought it was gonna be one-sided, but I've seen so many people say yes.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I take it as time heal all wounds. And I think a lot of people like, well, it's been long enough. I think he deserves it because of his great wrestling. And again, I'd be one of the first people to say, I love Chris Benoit, the wrestler.
hmm
I, in anything, I would take Chris Benoit. But when you're talking about life, and again, the conspiracy theories and all that, I chose not to look at it or even think about that. I'm
yeah.
like, I'm just going to let that go and choose to remember Chris Benoit, the wrestler.
And and when that you make a good point, like okay, when you say time heals all wounds, it does, but to an extent,
Right,
like
of course.
for a perfect example, you know me, I'm a huge sports fan. Michael Vick just became the head coach for Norfolk State,
I
and
heard that.
and props to him. I loved Vic as a football player, but again, he's another one. His personal life with the dogs, and he did the dog fighting. He was killing dogs. That got in the way, and you know, I'm not saying what he did was right, but you know, all these years have gone by, and now he's finally getting another chance to step into the light. And again, I'm not saying killing dogs is okay. It's not. No, it's not. But what I'm saying is, if Chris Benoit, let's say 2007 when this happened, let's say instead of doing what he did, let's say he robbed a gas station, stole the money, shot a guy. Let's say he didn't kill the guy. Let's say he shot the guy. He went to jail for 10-something years. He got out. He restarted his life. I could possibly be like, you know what? He's trying to become a better person. Give it a couple more years. Maybe he can go into the Hall of Fame. But because, like you said, time heals all wounds. People become, better people. But it's what he did. I mean, this man took the innocent lives of two people, who didn't deserve that, and it's just, time heals wounds to an extent, and that wound right there is a wound that you just can't heal. I mean, you think the family of Nancy Benoit, every time, you know what I'm saying? Anytime,
Exactly.
I bet you anytime, this would just be me. I bet you anytime, forget saying Nancy or the name Chris. I bet you anytime somebody even mentions the name wrestling, they get a little tiny trigger, just a little bit, because
Oh
it's
yeah.
like they have, or how big WWE is. I bet you they get on their phone and they see one advertisement for Monday Night Raw coming to you. They get that little flashback of, oh my gosh, and that's the thing is, look at Owen Hart's wife. That's
That
a whole different ball game. But she holds so much and with good reason. That's a whole backstory. But she
right.
holds proper resentment to the wrestling world and WWE specifically. And it's like, if I was Nancy's family, man, I just I couldn't. I
No,
couldn't. I
and
couldn't.
yeah, and that's my point. Again, like I said, I said time heals all wounds, and that's the always the mantra of things. But the thing is, you have to be respectable of that type of sensitive subject.
Yeah.
Just like look at I bring up Jake the Snake Robber and his father,
Yeah.
Grizzly Smith.
Yeah.
He raped young girls. Excuse me, because I don't want to get sued. Allegedly
Yeah.
raped young women, and
Yeah.
so he's not in the hall. In fact, he was inducted. Have we checked to see if he's still there? Have they pulled him out? And that's the thing. Again, with anything, you have to have a committee, and that committee has to make these tough decisions and make sure that everything is on a level they feel is acceptable.
Yeah.
And again, I look, like I said, hey, I still got the DVD. I'll watch it. I still watch it. I love watching his matches. I love his psychology in the ring, but I can separate the two things. A
Yeah.
lot of people can't, and understandably so, but personally I can. So
Yeah, and I'm with you, and like you said, me and you are both big sports fans all around, not just wrestling. And
right.
sports has a number of people who have that line of, they were great in sports, but then their personal lives were just I mean,
Look, just
Michael, all these guys,
you
Michael Vick, Aaron
out of
Hernandez,
and hey, look at Ray Ray Lewis.
Yeah.
He kills, and he's still
Yeah.
accepted.
That
So
and
again,
that's what I'm
where is
saying.
the line?
Yeah, yeah, it's like I said, I'm like you. I have that fine line where when I watch Ray Lewis and he knocks the hell out of somebody, I'm like, Ray Lewis is the hardest hitter of all time. But then at the same time, I'm like, yeah, that guy, but he's got stuff in his personal life that what I'm saying? Like, I'll watch him on sports all day and be like, that dude was the man. But, that doesn't change anything. I mean, it's the same with all these guys. Chris Benoit, Ray Rice, Michael Vick, Aaron Hernandez. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. And that's just the way the whole sports industry in general is and always will be.
Exactly.
And with WWE, it's a little, it's there's WWE. I mean, there's so much dark side of it. Not just WWE, but wrestling. There's so much
Wrestling in
dark
general,
side
yeah.
of it. And if you look at just watching the dark side of the ring, the show, and they have the Chris Benoit, the episodes. It's just like, yes, they were great at their profession, but that does not mean they were a good person.
Exactly.
And that's just the way it is, you know.
Terry fucking Hulk Hogan.
yeah, 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 oh God.
And
Yeah,
I'm just gonna leave that right there.
yeah. There you go. Exactly. You know, it's like that. That's just the way it is. Again, like I said, I was very surprised on how even the answers were. I mean,
Man.
I'm not gonna lie. I was like, this is gonna be the easiest show ever, man. Everybody's gonna be like, yep, he doesn't deserve it. Have a good day, you know. But no, how split it was, and again, like you said, I mean, I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I'm not here to destroy or shit on your opinion, you know, or anybody
Oh,
else's
of
opinion,
course.
you know. Like I said, everybody has their own, like you said, everybody has their own opinion. You know what I'm saying? I called in because I was like, man, this, you know, I was like, it's the new year. I'm about to come back up. But also I was like, man, this is very even. I'm going to go ahead and put my input on this.
So, with that being said, won't you do the countdown to the poll results? Give us a countdown from 5.
All right, I got you. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What do we have?
Oh, we
Man,
have 39
dude,
yeses to 41 no.
dude, that is close. Wow. And truthfully, you did. I didn't catch the first part. Did anybody call in with a yes?
No.
Okay.
And I would love someone who thinks he should be in, please call in. And I want to hear your opinion of why you think he should be in.
Yeah, and again, like I said, I mean, don't think since it's a yes, you're gonna get like
Oh,
destroyed. You know what
no.
I'm saying? And
Look,
that's the thing is like, you know, that's what I was saying. We all have opinions, and opinions are like assholes, but that doesn't mean you have to be. You know? And
exactly. And
you
not
know,
on my show, because if you be an asshole, you'll get cut.
yeah, there you go. But man, no, that is crazy how close that is, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I kept seeing it at a couple points. They were tied going back and forth. I'm like, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
man.
And here's the crazy part. I come up with the subject and I really didn't think which way I would want to go. And then I was like, wait a minute, I hadn't even decided I want to do this.
Dude,
But
that's crazy.
yeah, that is definitely, that's a big one. And I'm glad, another thing, I'm glad that people are willing to talk about it. Say it again, Joe. Oh, good. But it's good to talk about these things because we're fans and we can have, oh yeah, James at New Jack, right?
I'm so glad I'm glad you said that is a perfect one, man. I completely forgot about New Jack. Dude, New Jack, that's what I'm saying. When we talked about deathmatch, me and you, when we talked about deathmatch wrestling, we talked about New Jack is up there in deathmatch. That dude was one of the gods up there with like Nick Gage and stuff. But that dude in his personal life was a bad dude. Like he was, you know what I'm saying? Like he was just a bad guy. And
here's the crazy part about New Jack. I met him before he got into the drugs and stuff.
Yeah.
And he was just so humble and nice and everything. But again, like you said, we never know what people are going through in their personal life and how hard it is to be a professional wrestler on the road, putting your body through that. So that's why I try not to judge and give all of them a benefit of the doubt.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And it's like, again, that's kind of, you know, that's the basis of it. I keep saying it, but everybody's got an opinion. And you know, that's the way it is. And
so can you join me? Let's do a B&B talk. We're gonna have another caller jump on with us.
I got you. I got you. I'll stick around
All
for
right,
a minute.
come on, bring him on, please. There, Mr. Sir Brady. Uncle Black, what's going on, my guy?
Hello, all. Hello, everybody. Hope everybody has been enjoying the episode this evening. Quite a controversial episode of A Bear's Thoughts.
Yeah.
What's going on, guys?
What's up, man?
Hanging in there. I see you got your swag on.
Hey, hold on. Can they see it? Can I show it to them?
Yeah, go on, show it to them. Bring it on them.
Available everywhere soon.
Yes, sir.
Little shameless plug right there. All right, let's get down to brass tacks. I already knew what was going on here, and that vote was something. I didn't know we was gonna get so many yeses here.
Man,
I didn't think that this was gonna be such a topic to shake the world here. Thank you, Brady. I didn't like. All right, I figure. Right, listen. No matter the headbutt, no matter the crossface, I don't give a fuck how many German suplexes you throw. Brady, put the camera back on me, please. Bring it back over here so you can see me when I say this. Please and thank you. I don't give a fuck how many German suplexes you go. All that shit goes out the window for a double murder suicide. Okay, point blank. Period. I hear everybody talking about, oh, well, you have to give him credit in between the ropes and the things that he's done. All right. Okay, listen, I was an amazing talent at Dunkin' Donuts, okay? I could make your sausage, egg, and cheese better than anybody, all right? But it was a couple hash browns missing. And do you think I deserve to go back to Dunkin' Donuts because I ate a couple of hash browns? Yeah. But did I kill anybody? No. I'm sorry. And I'm a fan. Okay, I'm a SmackDown baby. Okay, so you know what I saw most of the time on that show from when it started to where we are now. But I'm just saying, bruh, I don't give a damn how good your moves is. No. And no, he don't deserve to go into the Hall of Fame. That's a damn you're doing a disservice to Drew Carey. All right. He did his hardest to get into the Hall of Fame. And how dare you desecrate it with feces and doo-doo and such?
I wish I agree with you 100%. No matter what he's accomplished in the wrestling world, it doesn't make up for the three lives, that were lost. And the big thing for me too, though, is there ever going to be a time, in your opinion, in both of y'all's opinion, is there ever going to be a time that Chris Benoit could go into a Hall of Fame?
I'll say this, and then I'll give Gavin the floor. How I look at Chris Benoit going into the Hall of Fame is, I heard someone earlier say that time heals all wounds. Not that one. I'll look at it like this, okay? Chris Benoit, I would compare it to an ex-girlfriend, okay? An ex-girlfriend that you may have had once in time, okay? Because remember, you loved this girl with all your heart. You gave her everything, and then she broke up with you. But she not only broke up with you, okay? This word's about to hurt. She not only broke up with you, but she sucked his dick. You know that pain you feel in the gut of your heart, in the pit of your stomach? You know that pain you feel right now? That's the equivalent to what Chris Benoit did. Because, again, no matter the match, and he has had amazing matches, it all goes out the window when you kill yourself and your family. It's your family. This was two hookers on the side of the road. He done got the snooker treatment. But this was your family, okay? Your family. You never go against the family. Never go against the family. And always trust God. That's my TED Talk. Holla back.
Yeah, how can you follow that up, bro?
I can't follow that up. This is off topic real quick. I want to say, who the hell is our production guy? Like, I'm serious. I'm sitting here looking at all this extra stuff y'all got going on the screen. Dude, man, this makes it look like when me and you were doing it, man, we were bums, dude.
Man, what?
This shit right here. Dude, we got a budget, man. Like, I'm serious. I'm sitting here because I was at work the other day watching some of our old stuff, and I'm sitting here looking at this right now, and I'm like, dude, are we on Busted Open or something? Like, what the is this the same? I'm like, what the like, dude, like, bro,
This is WSN.
yeah, no shit, like, dude, I'm
Available everywhere right now on
dude,
WrestlingSociety.com.
I'm
Pull up.
like, I knew I know I've been at the game for a while, but dude, Brady, man, like you take some classes or something, man. I mean, this is professional stuff, man. Like,
We,
um, and it
we
sucks
can,
because I'm not professional right now. I'm on my phone in a car. I'm not on my desktop. I want to go. You know how badly I want to go back home to my desktop right now and put up my green screen and pop on my headphones and just go to town. Like, dude, y'all are getting me hyped again, man. But you know the whole thing with Chris Benoit, I can't follow up what you said, because there's nothing else to say. I mean, truthfully, there's nothing else to say. He was a great wrestler. Yes, he was an amazing wrestler. I respect that. You know what I'm saying? But when he clocks out, you know what I'm saying? His personal life, it got too much in the way. I mean, it's too much in the way of his professional life, and
right.
it's just the way it is. If Michael Jordan killed somebody, you know what I'm saying? Michael Jordan would be looked at very differently. He'd still be the greatest of all time in basketball, yes. But I promise you, nobody be I wouldn't own a pair of Jordans at home. You know, a couple other people wouldn't own a pair of Jordans, because when you take it to as far as taking another person's life, I mean, you can't get away with that just because you're good at your job. You know what I'm saying? You can't get away with killing somebody just because you're good at your job.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. Chris Benoit just doesn't get the free treatment, and that's just the way it is, you know. And I understand there's little things here and there, like, oh well, you know, Jimmy Snuka, blah blah blah, or you know, and it's like, look, that, you know, I understand that was some weird story. They tried to trial him way too late, and he was just too old to go on trial, and all that crap happened. But like I said, Benoit doesn't get a free pass just because he was better at his job than somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If let's say, God, who was a no Hurricane? I'm trying to think of a
Hard Body Harrison.
Yeah, there you go. I was trying to think of you know, a jobber from back then. I am blanking right now, dude. Yeah, there you go. Let's just say the Hurricane. That's a good one. I wanted a good one. The Hurricane. Let's say the Hurricane killed somebody, all right? Let's say the Hurricane killed somebody. Would we be even having this conversation right now if it was somebody else, like the Hurricane? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You could have picked a different name. No disrespect to Shane Helms. It's not like he was, not like he didn't do anything good in the business. But somebody said Gilbert. That's the one. Thank you.
There you go.
Gilbert is the perfect example for this. Gilbert caught a couple bodies, you would turn a blind eye because, hey, it's Gilbert.
That's what I'm saying, man. If
he had
Gilbert,
sparklers.
Like, man, if Gilbert had killed his you know, his wife and kid, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now, because Gilbert wasn't that good.
We would hate Gilbert too. No, it would be fuck Gilbert as well.
Yeah, well, you know,
it would be fuck Gilbert too.
It's already fuck Gilbert and fuck Goldberg.
But hold on. Let's get to this question, Joe. I like this question that Joe posted. Let's get to that.
All right. Again, this is one of the biggest what ifs in wrestling. What if he didn't kill his family? What if Eddie didn't pass all of a sudden? We never know, sadly, but his actions outside the ring speaks louder than his actions inside the ring.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
You could have stopped. You could have stopped with the first half. That was perfect. What if? Yeah, I can tell you what would have happened. I mean, you probably would have got another good 10 more years of some good matches with everybody.
When Eddie died, that's what messed him up, you know?
Well, and this is my thing. I don't want him in the Hall of Fame. Nah. But I don't want his body of work to go out the window, because and I'm going to explain to you why too. Chris Benoit has so many fans out there. There's professional wrestlers who grew up on Chris Benoit. They take their style after Chris Benoit. Now, would they admit it? Maybe, maybe not. But the work should not be lost to history. Now, we don't have to glorify him. We don't have to put him in the Hall of Fame, any of that. One of the best WWE moments of all time is Eddie and Chris hugging at WrestleMania, was it 20?
Yeah.
That was one of the
I still
best.
get choked up because it's like
It's better than anything you can name, but they can't
Copenhagen.
use it because of what Benoit did. And again, I don't blame them. And honestly, I never thought I would end up saying this about WWE. They actually handled it the right way, because you can still see his matches, but they just don't talk about it. They skip the bar. Where when the network was out, when you go to any of it that had Benoit, they still left the matches in, but they took out some of the words and stuff. So again, just like I say about that bitch Cherry, you may not like them, but you cannot take away the work they did for the business. And again, from this tragedy came some good things because of the testing, the CTE. They do different things now to try to help keep wrestlers safe. And it came from something tragic, but let's look at the positives. That's my thoughts.
Right. I'll say this: the positives that come from this is that there's forums like this where you can talk about it and it's cool. Where we can say, "Yo, Chris Benoit had an amazing series with Booker T on SmackDown," but oh yeah, fuck that guy.
Right.
You know, like that. That's the beauty of the world that we live in. So
exactly, and that's
again,
the beauty of the Barron's thought, because I will give you my thoughts, I will let you give me yours. And again, this is a safe zone until you get the acting crazy. Then it could be a little different. But hey, yeah, the Paul Heyman speech.
Yeah, fuck that. Yeah, fuck your guy. That's your guy. All right, fuck him.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna say it verbatim, but yeah, straight like that.
Okay. Again, if you are listening and watching, please, if you believe that Chris should be in the WWE Hall of Fame or any Hall of Fame, call in. We can talk about it. I genuinely want to know why you feel like that.
Well, you listen. I'm glad you do. I could be as uncut and as raw as I want to. I don't. I'm gonna judge you. I'm gonna keep it a frank. I'm not even gonna lie, Brady. You can clip this part. I'm gonna judge you. If you say he belong in there, I'm gonna look at you. Straight like that. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. But you know what? It's cool because we all love wrestling. We all here to talk.
Exactly. And if we can't talk about it as a family, then man, what are you doing being a wrestling fan?
Absolutely.
Because that's all it is. This is family talk. Now, if you ain't a wrestling fan, this ain't for you. Keep your opinion to yourself. This is for the wrestling fan and the family.
Word.
Man, I love it. I love it.
Well,
is Mark calling in?
I hope so.
If Mark calls in, I'll scurry you off stage left. If that's the case, I'll give him the room.
Man, this has been wonderful. And I want to thank everyone for tuning in, giving your opinions. And man, Blade, love you, brother. I'm just waiting on us to do this again with great. Hey, you see, we upgraded, so we're gonna be in there.
No shit, man. I'm serious. I'm looking at the phone. I'm like, what is happening, man? I mean, yeah, no, like I said, I just have one more thing to say about the Benoit thing, and then I'll skedaddle off and let y'all finish your thing. I got to get my workout in anyway, but so I just thought about this. It's just something little, but you know, even I think his own brother knows that he doesn't. You know what I'm saying? I think his own brother knows that it's tainted because, his brother has been interested in becoming a wrestler, but have you noticed he hasn't put himself out there? He's kind of hiding behind the shadows. I saw it the other day. Somebody took a backstage photo with him, and somebody asked the question: Should David Benoit be in the WWE as a wrestler? And it's
that's his son.
oh yeah, his son. I apologize, his son, not his brother. Yeah, his son. And it's like,
So they look alike. They look that much alike. You got to
yeah, I
switch.
know. I get that confused every time. And it's like that's the thing is, even because the thing is, he knows. Let's say Chris Benoit didn't do what he did. If I was the son of Chris Benoit, I would have already been out there in WWE as a mainstream wrestler at his age right now because it's a free ticket. You know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
a free ticket, and
Well, you still got to earn it though. Hold on,
I mean,
ain't
yeah,
a free
but it's
ticket.
like
It's a hell of a good look. Like, hey, listen, you know who your dad was?
oh
He
yeah,
fell on
no,
his head a lot, so we're gonna let you train for free. Come on, you
yeah,
feel me? So
that's
I
what I'm
get that.
saying. But it's like he would have already been in NXT at least, or you would have seen him at the
Shit,
Performance Center or something. But
man.
the thing is, it's like Rusty said, AEW won't touch him, and it's like
Not with a 10-foot pole, man.
I think he even knows to himself, and that's kind of why he backed off. Because he kind of stopped, like he's gained some weight. He kind of stopped wrestling a little bit, like on the side, because but the thing is, he doesn't seem like I've read some interviews and articles about. He doesn't seem too upset about it because I think he thinks he knows, like I can't, it's just one of those things, like I'm not upset about it because what he did was wrong,
Right.
and that's just the way it is. I have to live in the sins of my father, and it's just one of those things. Because and so that's just it's just one of those things. But no, that's really all I had to say about it. I'm on the same page as both of y'all. I
Rusty,
don't,
you gotta stop. Rusty
yeah,
must be stopped, yo.
he wants to get into wrestling, but nobody wants to touch. Yeah, exactly. And
Right.
so
The only way he would ever be able to do it, he had to be a masked wrestler. Come in the joint with the mask on, leave the joint with the mask on.
yeah,
That'll be the way. Hey, Rusty, what
would
would be the name of that tag team? Go ahead. Rusty, what would be the name of that tag team? I want to see. Let's see if we can get canceled tonight. What would be the name of that tag team, brother?
And Pillman Jr. as a tag team. I can't.
Cutthroats.
The Cutthroats.
Man, that's messed up, man.
I know. That was. I know.
Get me out of here, Brady. Get me out of here, boss. I still want to have a career after this. Get me out of here, boss.
This is my comeback, and I'm already about to get canceled. So, that's like, oh, there goes that career. I'll see y'all in 2 years.
And let me say, in all sincerity, I am joking around. I'm making fun of a situation that is very heartfelt, and I hope I am not offending any members of their family. That is not my intent.
Oh, we put the disclaimers out already. This is supposed to be an uncut, unedited.
It's never too much. It's never too much to keep putting disclaimers out. I'm just saying. You never know when somebody catch a clip.
It's already
definitely face promo.
It's already taken, but a good one. A good one would have been the Brothers of Destruction. that would have been a good one, but it's already taken. So I'm sorry. I had to.
Look, you said to get canceled. We just
I had to throw one out.
It's okay.
There, man.
I'm hiding my face in shame. It's all right. I'm hiding my face in shame.
Hey, I had to throw it out.
Don't mind the outdated logo.
Like, but Bear,
Get me out of here, yo.
I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all talking to me. Like I said, I just wanted to call in. This is fancy, man, getting people to call in. I remember I was having to read Facebook comments.
Right.
What the hell?
Still doing that.
Yeah, like people could just call in now, dude. Like, where was this? Where was this?
Man, we got a caller
over there.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, we got another caller, gent. So let me jump on that.
Sasha.
Love both of y'all.
Man, I appreciate y'all. I will be back.
All
Hey,
right.
clip this up so I can put it on YouTube.
Got you.
Y'all
All
have
right,
a good
bet.
one.
Let's see who our next caller is.
I'm still here. Okay, I didn't go.
Hey, everybody! It's me, Mark Monroe!
Hey,
Mark, what's up, brother?
Hey, I'm on here! I told you he'd be on here when I was on here. He can't believe me.
Oh my goodness. So,
right.
Mark,
Hey,
how do you feel about Chris Benoit?
Can I talk about that?
Yeah,
you can. You can.
So, I think all around one of the best performers of all time. What he did, inexcusable. Should he be in the Hall of Fame? Yes. I went ahead and said it. I know the lovable Mark Monroe says yes. But I can understand why he's not. Because in this situation, the bad outweighs the great, sadly.
yeah. Oh, Antonio. Now this is a great take on this. The Wrestling Hall of Fame is for things individual has done in wrestling. People who have elevated the product in some way. Chris Benoit elevated the product. There's no argument about that. He definitely did.
Not at all. He 100% elevated the product. I mean, let's look at my brother for crying out loud. He brought up a good point. A small guy, come on. You're looking at Bear's favorite wrestler, Hulk Hogan, but a small guy, that was Chris Benoit. He was considered one of the smaller Jews. And for what he's accomplished, I mean, heck, we can say the same for Eddie Guerrero. Look at what both men had accomplished.
Very true.
And for them, and for people to be ashamed to say that they were influenced by him, I hear people all the time, wrestlers, independent wrestlers, people who work in AEW and WWE still say Chris Benoit was one of their top influencers to get into the business.
There's nothing wrong with that take, because again, we all have opinions, and when you learn something, you want to take it from the best. You want to give that compliment to them that shows them, hey, you influenced me so much, I'm dedicating this to you. So I understand that.
So actually, I got a book of conspiracy theories that we should go over with this. Now, if you want to believe that, no, that's enough. No, no, that is enough. We're not talking about conspiracy theories tonight.
No.
Give it to me, you idiot. No. Stop.
Brady, I think you're gonna have to go ahead and cook, Mark, because I don't need to hear them two fight.
Thanks for coming, Mark.
Bye, guys.
Nice having him.
Woo, man,
that was nice. That was cool.
Hey, I didn't think it'd be violence on my show. This is wow.
I mean, listen, he didn't give the phone back. Thanks, Joe.
I guess I'm gonna have to talk to both of them when I see them this Saturday.
All right.
Well,
is that it?
I think we're gonna call it an evening. Again,
do I hear outro music?
Yes, sir. I want to first of all thank you, Uncle Black, for coming in and giving your side of the Benoit story. Thank you for everyone that's called in and gave your opinion. Thank you for rocking with your boy Professor Bear. And remember, you see the shirts. They will be out next week, and we got other things coming. So, hey, feel free to go and check us out. And and to get the merch is on thewrestlingsociety.com in the merch shop. Make sure you should already know this because you should have the network already. But if you don't, Now you don't have an excuse. And tell your mama, make sure your mama tell your daddy, tell all the family members, even the aunt you don't talk to. Make sure you let her know too. Get that merch at thewrestlingsociety.com. And again, we'll be back and we'll have another controversial thing to look at. Who knows? We may even have some more guests. So thank you for rocking with us. We love y'all. Have a great night.
All right. Are we out of here? We're still alive?
We're still live. Producer, we're still live. Oh, the behind the scenes.